Let's do a quick analysis of some of the key factors under Egyptian and Chinese civilization. So let's begin with firstly the Egyptian civilization. Now, in the Egyptian civilization, as we know, has a heliographic script which was very different from the other scripts that were there. The Egyptian civilization has been divided into three periods: old, medieval and new period. And old period was the period which was called as the age of pyramids, where lots of pyramids were built. And one of the important characteristics was Memphis. This was near the region of Cairo, which is the present capital of the region. And this Egyptian civilization flourished on the river which was the Nile River. In contrast to this, the Chinese civilization flourished on the river which was known as Huang He, later called as Sorrow of China. This was one of the major destructive rivers of China. But again, each of the civilizations, as we have seen, has been established near a river. Under the Egyptian civilization, the king was known as Pharaoh. There was a very important system where females were given a very high position in the society, respected, and the female had a share in the father's property. Again, an important thing of the Egyptian civilization was that despite that females were respected and hold a high position, they were not into a formal education system, and they were more inclined towards domestic and household activities. There was another concept which was known as Sphinx. Now, Sphinx was the body of half lion and half man. Then there was the worship of sun god. Sun god was known as Ra. One of the major temples was the temple of Karnak, which was the sun temple, which was during that time. And then Abu Simbel was another important worship place which was located at the bank of River Nile. Now, besides this, as we said, the sacred writing was hieroglyphic script, and it had nearly 24 signs and symbols. This was later deciphered by a French scholar who was known as Champollion, and he actually identified those 24 signs and symbols which were used. Later on, Egyptian civilization focused on writing with reed and on papyrus as one of the writing mechanisms. On the other hand, Chinese civilization was the one where later paper was invented. Writings were seen even on silk and paper. There was a very important concept which was known as oracles, which was considered in Chinese civilization, and this was the tortoise shell. Now, this tortoise shell was polished, and then there were bones of cattle and small wounds which were done in it. Fire was lit, and then there was the breaking of the shell which was done. Now, what shape was attained by the breaking was being read by the priest there, and this was used to as a fortune teller and for other purposes. And this was one of the major practices in the regions of Chinese civilization. It was called as oracles. Now, again, the script was pictographic. It had numerous characters and signs and symbols. Primitive sledge was used under Chinese civilization, and this was later converted into cart. It was later converted into chariots, and the society had a clear division of labor which was practiced. One of the important things that the people believed was the chief god, and this chief god was nothing but the ruler above. So one who rules was the person, the chief, the king, was also the commander of the army and was worshipped with respected eyes from every individual. So those were some of the key things that we have discussed under two civilizations. In case you have questions or queries, feel free to connect back to us, and yes, we would be covering many interesting topics and sessions for you. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.